Hi everyone, Ash Kelser here from HireFlight, and I wanted to make this video that's going to help with the transition that a lot of people are making at the moment as far as the legal technology goes in their practice. So two groups fundamentally, I suppose, is those who are making the change willingly or somewhat not so willingly from their desktop all-in-one experience over to cloud-based best-in-breed solution stack, and then those who are currently working with cloud-based software for their legal practice but would like some tips and tricks that will help them quickly improve the experience and speed with which they can work and the leverage that they get out of their technology. So this is really the context that we're coming to now, is that the change is moving now to where you need to work primarily from your browser, and you should really think about your browser now as your practice management system. You should think about that as your all-in-one, from which this is the system that you use to tie together your own all-in-one. So you need to start thinking about, I've got my browser, now I need to assemble my dream team set of applications that I'm going to use to get my work done day to day. And on the one hand, you're going to think, oh man, why can't we just have the all-in-one where they just give it to me? But now the benefit that you get is that if any one particular tool in that set of solutions you use is not performing so great, and in the legacy all-in-one systems there were always things that were pretty average, didn't work so great in many of those systems, and these days now you're not married to that, you're not shackled to that. You can switch out the applications that are not working the best for you for ones that are, so that you continue to have a solution set for getting your work done that works best for you and continues to work best for you. To that end, also when you're selecting your tech solutions, try to go for solutions that have an open API, and even if they may not say that they have one or don't have one, a pretty good indication is going to be if you go to the integrations information on that application, you should find that they have integrations with a variety of other applications that they do not own or have investments in. So the good part about that then is that you're going to be able to get that interoperability, synchronization between the solutions, each of those solutions, so that when you work in one, it updates in the other, and you start to get much more of that all-in-one experience, and less clicking around, less copying, less doubling of data entry, which is the ideal. So yeah, remember to think now, you work primarily from the browser, so think in terms of using Outlook in the browser, which is actually faster, better, and more reliable. Excel in the browser, which is definitely faster, better, and more reliable. I know I've had negative experiences working with desktop with both of those that caused me to go over to the cloud, and I haven't had a problem since with that. You don't want the situation where like an email that looks like it's been sent and it has not been sent, been there. Not something I want to have repeated, especially when dealing with clients. So there you go, working primarily from the browser. Next, you want to think about what browser you want to choose. I would encourage you to be completely disloyal and shameless and not worrying about what's cool. Worry about what works well for you at the time, because the browser is going to be the thing that's going to tie together the applications that you use in your day-to-day. And these things get updated from time to time. Changes happen. Sometimes one of them starts murdering your RAM. Hello, Chrome. And slowing things down, so feel free to switch. But some of the things that have caused me, at least currently, to preference Microsoft Edge, despite it often being the butt of jokes in the past, is I think they've done a lot of good work to innovate their asses off and build something that ties your applications together really well. So, for instance, a few things that I think are really good: vertical tabs. So this means you don't have that amorphous, glob of unreadable, shortened tab names at the top, and you can never find what you've got, so you just open another tab, so you've got 50 tabs open. Vertical tabs is built in, doesn't require an extension, and you can just go down the list. It just pops up to the side, and then you can see the full tab name. You can get there just by clicking on the settings, going to appearance, scrolling down, and you'll find vertical tabs. So I find that to be handy. Another thing that I think is really handy, would be a bit more familiar to everyone too, is the bookmarks. Of course, every browser has bookmarks, but they operate as a drop down in context for you. I find that to be handy, whereas Chrome will typically open that in a separate tab for you. So I like to remain in context if I can, to recall what I'm working on, which is easily forgotten sometimes. And quick tip there, Control Shift O will open that for you as well. So I'll get to that in a moment, but learning the shortcuts, super helpful for navigating around really quickly, less clicking around, faster experience. Split screen browsing, I think, is pretty handy. It means that you could be looking at your email and a document, side by side in the browser. It has that, so up you go, it brings it open like that. I think that's handy. Those who use Android will also be familiar with that experience. The sidebar pops out as well, so you can have some applications down the side for quick access whilst in context. So I can pop open my Hivelight, scroll down that, then pop that back in, all while remaining on the same page. I think that's handy. It works in most Chrome extensions, so if it works for you in Chrome, you don't have to leave it, you can bring it over. Many of these extensions, all of them actually work on Chrome and on Edge. As a slight bonus, you can actually start getting some Amazon gift cards or whatever you like, by cashing in reward points for just for using it up there. And of course, we have Copilot built in as part of the experience of using the Edge browser. So that is handy, bringing the AI right into context. So once we've decided what we're going to use, next it comes to getting set up with your browser. So it's a good idea to go and make sure you, so step one, there's going to be a few applications. You don't want to forget to actually look at them each morning. So you can set it to open to those core applications first thing in the morning. So when you open your browser, so if you just go to settings, and then there will be the option on startup, and there it is. So now you can select which pages you want the browser to open for you the moment that you open the browser for the first time that day. That's handy. I'd recommend doing that. Then you want to make sure that you bookmark all the key applications that you use. Again, it's up here, so you just go to different pages and you just add it as a bookmark, and then it will be available for you for very quick access. So that's that one. Switching to vertical tabs, we just covered that before, but that provides more screen real estate, easy visibility of what you've got. Using Outlook and Excel in the browser, definitely faster and more reliable, and keeps you in that habit of working from the browser. Apps that you want to put in the sidebar, Hivelight and others, pretty handy for quick access there. And then browser extensions. So this is where this part's going to become quite handy, and I'll cover a few recommended extensions in a moment. I think most people are pretty familiar with how to add those, and if anything, you just click on the extensions button and it's going to guide you through that anyway. This is where you want to add in things for, say, you can add things for time recording, password management, clause banks and snippets and that sort of thing, all pretty handy. And then another one really important, which I'll take you through some of the really core ones, is learning the keyboard shortcuts, which will get you around the screen faster and less clicking around, more action. So these are some of the ones that I'd really recommend that people learn, especially the one to get quickly to your bookmarks. So just Control-Shift-O brings it up, and you start typing, and up comes the application you want to use, click, and it'll open it. Another one that's going to be really handy, you're often trying to find that tab, where is it? So Control-Shift-A, these will all work in Chrome and other solutions as well. Works quite nicely here. Again, you can start searching, and this will look through your current open tabs and your recently closed ones as well, so that you don't have to just keep opening duplicates of the same application because you can't find it in the jumbled mess of tabs that you've got. Another one will be Control-T, that's going to open a new tab. Control-W, close it. And then Alt-D or Control-L will take you straight to working from your address bar, so that you don't have to even move the mouse. You just stay on the keyboard. Other one that's going to help you too, when you're working with a lot of browser-based software, there will be updates from time to time, and sometimes you think something's not working. The fastest self-help solution is going to be Control-Shift-R, and that's going to do a full refresh of the current page, pulling the freshest possible version that there is on the server for you, and that will often resolve like 90-something% of issues that you experience with any browser-based software, to make sure you've got the freshest, most up-to-date version. Control-F, which everyone should know, and then one which some people might not know is just the Windows key V. That's going to open up the clipboard, so you can start to select from any recent content that you have copied on your computer, and you can even pin some of that content, which is quite handy, so that you can regularly just paste that same content in over and over and over again in different contexts. And fun Helpful one will of course be Windows semicolon to get to your emojis if you need. So there's that. Next is going to be leveraging some browser extensions, some ones that can be really helpful. I just noticed people haven't used but are really handy. I recommend using them. Would be things like TextBlaze. So you can think of this one as being like your clause bank and sort of small templates that you could use for, say, file notes and other things. Really handy. Works in the browser. You just literally set these up and you say / with some keyword that you prescribe, which is shown here, and then it's going to enter that template text into your page where you're typing. So again, that can be really handy. It works much like any sort of clause bank or snippet bank that you might be familiar with using, and has some other useful features around it too that I could go into another time. 1Password, so if you do not have single sign-on and you're sick of having to remember multiple passwords for every single thing, and you're one of those people who uses the same password for everything and maybe writes that password on a post-it note, so sticks it to your computer like a former boss that I once had, which would horrify most people working in security. 1Password is a great browser extension. It's going to remember your passwords across your devices and across your platforms, so from your phone to your computer to across different operating systems, so that you don't have to and you have a faster experience. Some people need some time tracking. You might consider something like MyTimes as a dedicated solution. Toggle Time and Clockify popular, so non-legal text specific solutions that will work quite well for you as well. And then the experience is just literally just click on that, open it up and start timing and read aloud for when you're tired of reading. It's going to read off the page to you as well. I find that can sometimes just be helpful for getting through something that's a bit dry, so that you can just put it on, have it there and just listen to the things that you want to hear. Okay, so to tie it all together, for success with the best in breed cloud-based solutions, remember it works primarily from the browser. That is your new home. It's going to provide the fastest and best experience and tie it together so you can create your own all-in-one that works the way you want it to. I recommend trying different browsers. Don't just work just from Chrome. If that works for you, great, but be willing to try some other solutions, Firefox, Opera, Edge, and find the one that fits best for you to help you navigate quickly and tie everything together. Make sure that you configure your browser. So actually set it up. This will let it help you. This will empower you to have really productive days. Bookmarking the sites that you go to regularly. Setting up, say, vertical tabs. Personally, I find that helpful. Maybe other people don't, but I think that is really useful. Setting up your startup tabs. So just having a few key applications. What are the things that you need to remember to look at when you start each day? Put those as the tabs that open on startup. We went through that just before. And then looks at some extensions which will help you as well. Say snippets is going to be a big one for, or clause bank solutions like TextBlaze and others are going to be really helpful in the legal context. Use them all the time. And then definitely make sure to learn those keyboard shortcuts which we just went through for dramatically faster navigation. Also, finally, as a bit of a bonus tip, something that we see sometimes, make sure that you don't skimp on the MSP that you select. Make sure you pick one that has local tech support who can deliver projects and perhaps even provide some assistance when it comes to some of the automations that you want to achieve. Because if you've got applications that you work with that have an open API, then you can make very significant progress automating your practice with things like Power Automate and Zapier. Maybe you haven't got time to mess around with that, but I tell you what, it's going to make a big difference to you if you actually set up some automations around that, and it's going to mean your staff spend less time on mechanical work and more time on the stuff that's more high value. And also a great idea to check in with those people, your MSP, your other technical advisors, probably every 6 months at least, to have a chat about where the business is up to, any productivity barriers that you're hitting, things that you'd like to get some leverage or automation around, and they can give you some really great advice about what's happening new in the industry. I find that that's going to deliver any business, especially in law, and being there firsthand, quite a big advantage if you get onto the technical, get onto the tech early before the competition does. You can be quite an advantage that they may never catch up to you from if you're quick onto it. So there we go, quick tips to help you succeed with best in breed, and HiveLight being one of those solutions. So hit us up if you'd like to chat about this further. But best of luck and enjoy the modern age we're heading into. Cheers.